Welcome to the first installment of the Gameplan Breakdown. Today, I'm going to talk about how to get started. You want to start creating sports content, you want to get on the courts, on the fields, and start shooting, but where do you start? Then this episode is for you. Before we start, a quick note on what the Gameplan Breakdown is. These are short solo episodes where I break down a specific topic within sports content, mostly based on my own experience in the industry. No guest, no fluff, just practical insights, real examples and lessons you can actually apply, whether you're working on a team, a club, a league, or a brand, or building your own platform. Let's get into today's breakdown. So first, let's take it back to when I got started. 17 years ago. It's a long time, and the social media landscape and the sports content landscape is totally different than it is today, but still can just talk about how I started and then we'll go on through more stuff. I started as the web editor for my own club back home in Sweden, where I played basketball. So the board of the club asked me if I wanted to start, take care of their website, write the game reports, update with news, take photos and such things from the events or the games. And I had just finished, or I was just going through my journalism studies. So I thought it was a great experience, a great thing to do, to be able to do this on the side also with my studies and learn the communication side in sports and with basketball and my own club that I loved and still played with. But then I also thought I'm a creative. I wanted to create more stuff. I loved writing at that point. I was studying journalism in writing. But I also wanted to create more. I wanted to take photos and I also wanted to do more video. I got help from my dad and myself, and we started filming the games of the senior teams. So the men's team and the women's team of my home club. We filmed those games with like a handy cam like this, just sitting like this all game, filming all the home games especially. And then I took the video, I edited game highlights and put them on YouTube, and YouTube was like 3 years old at that point, so it was actually something pretty new in Swedish basketball too, especially as a club to do this. So I started doing post the game videos, and eventually I also started doing more interviews, player highlights, videos from different events inside the club. And also during this time, 2009, 10, 11, Facebook was there, Instagram started coming, there was Twitter. So during this time I also created my club's first accounts and pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. And from that I took care of all the communications. So from being the web editor for my club, I started doing the social media, the communication side, the photo, the videos, the graphics and everything. And that's how I got started. My club in my hometown is not the biggest in Sweden. So the women's team played in the highest division in Sweden, and the men's team played in the second division in Sweden. And then after a few years, I was able to be recruited to another basketball organization in Sweden after seeing my work with my home team. And since then, it's been going on. I've been working for 17 years now in the sports content field, and today I'm working on the national level in Sweden with the Basketball Federation here, and also on the international level with international assignments during big basketball tournaments. So from my own small 400 spectator arena all the way to the biggest basketball arenas in Europe and the world. So that's how I got started. But the question is now, if you're a young creator, you want to get into the sports content scene, how do you get started today? So the first thing I would think about is, what is it that you want to create? Today there are so many different fields or different options of creativity. You can do videography, you can do photos, you can do graphics, you can write, you can do the coordination, social media coordinating, and you can combine these things. You can do video and photo, you can do graphics and the coordination, you can do, and I think also it's a strength if you can do multiple things. But if you have one area that you really want to improve or you really want to go for, like you want to be a videographer in sports, you want to start shooting video for clubs, for athletes, or you really want to take your photography to the next level in sports, then you should focus on those things. But as a side note, I think that being able to do multiple things is a very good thing today. Personally, for myself, that has been my strength, that I'm able to do all things relating to social media or communications overall. I can shoot video good enough, I can do photograph good enough, I can write, I can do the graphics, I can post on social media, I can create engaging captions, I can do a lot of things very good. So for me, being a generalist or being good in a lot of areas has been my path to creating my role today in sports content. But today there are so many options. If you want to just do your thing, then you should focus on your thing. So find your path, find your way into the sports content scene. Another thing before you get started is also to know and to try to learn, if you don't know, the analytics side. If you listen to episode 5 of the podcast with Jared Kleinstein, he mentions that young creators today should know the analytics side. You should know the numbers, what things works online, and try to also, when you get going, start analyzing the numbers, what things works, what doesn't, and see how the algorithm works. Learn all the data behind the content, because you can create the most amazing content, you can create the most amazing videos, photos, everything, but working in sport and working in social media, it also has to have a purpose. Why are you doing this video, or why are you doing this post? So that it also creates the maximum engagement and reaches the most people for your club or for your team or organization. So that is also one important tip, to learn the analytics side. Learn how to analyze the data behind the content. Okay, so you've picked your lane. I want to do this. Then what's next? What I would do is start looking around your own area where you are situated right now. Do you have local teams nearby in different sports? Or if you have one specific sport that you want to get into, start looking at what clubs are available close to me and what levels they are at. And also start looking at their social media feeds. Find their accounts on Instagram, YouTube, and see what content are they doing today. Do they have someone who creates content, or can you see like there's a spot for me here to start actually creating content for them? If you can see there is an option here, try to reach out to the teams, either DM or email to the communications department if they have that, and say that I'm available, I can help out, I can create content. My advice would also be to start at the lower levels. Of course, we all want to work with the big teams, the big names, but if you're new or you're starting out in this field, you're not going to get those opportunities right away. So instead, look for the lower divisions or the second or third division and the local teams around your area. It can be the smaller teams, they can be the high school teams, it can be the smaller arenas, because I would argue that it doesn't even matter what level you are working on when you get started, because you have to build your reps, you have to get your experience, you have to shoot your shot, and if your content or your photos or your videos is good enough, it doesn't matter if it's the third division. The content will still be good, and you will start to be able to build a portfolio or start building a repertoire and show your work that you can use to show for other clubs or other teams that you want to work with in the future. And also from my experience, a lot of teams in lower divisions, they would love to have help with the social media, because they have a budget, and social media or the communication side is not always the most prioritized. A lot of these teams would love to have someone take care of their Instagram, or would love to have someone who takes photos from their games and video from their games, because usually in those lower divisions or high schools or local leagues, they usually don't have that kind of exposure or that kind of availability to a lot of photographers during the games and so on. So I think going for those teams would be an opportunity for you to showcase your work and actually get also a lot of feedback and a lot of compliments back for your work, because people love being seen. People love seeing themselves in nice photos and videos. If you can create really cool content for these teams, it will catapult you to the next level. The third thing I would say is, in the beginning, you probably will have to work for free. Starting in a lower level, they don't have the budget for this. You're going to have to start saying, I can do this for free. I can come to your games. I can take photos, videos. I can start handling your social media feed, do the game results graphics, the starting lineups graphics. I will do this for free. In the beginning of your career, in the beginning of entering this field, it's all about getting the reps in. You just have to build your experience, learn, try over and over again, see what works, what doesn't, what are you comfortable with, what can you improve, create your portfolio. So everything here is just repetitions. Get your reps, get your experience. This is a marathon. You have to work on this daily. You're probably going to do a lot of long nights and putting a lot of effort and time into something for free in the beginning, but these hours, the energy you put into it will also multiply in the future. One of my favorite books is The Atomic Habits, and I like the analogy of 1% better every day, because here it's exactly that. You have to get 1% better each day, doing your content, creating your content, just improving small steps every time, and then in a few years, you're going to be at the big leagues, in the big arenas, doing your thing. So keep that in mind when you start out and it feels like doesn't really happen anything, but keep in mind that you are going somewhere big. Just have to get small steps first, and it's going to grow by itself. Another option, if you're more into the social media coordination side, you want to do more graphics, you want to do more of the admin overall stuff for social media. Today, the world is so big, and it's also so close today, because you can do work online, you can do work remote. So if you're more into videography, photography, you maybe have to try to get into the local arenas. But if you work remote, you can work with teams from anywhere, from any country. So that is also an option to, like, I want to do this with the social media feed. I can handle all the game results, all the graphics. Then you can find teams from everywhere, all over your own country, all over the world, if you want that. So you can find so many options to find work. So that is also one option. Another option is, right now I'm mentioning a lot of video, photography, graphics, but don't forget that content or digital content today, it's also writing, it's articles, it's all these things that builds a website, because the website is still an arena, a platform for you to create content. You can think a lot about maybe the social media feeds, or Instagram or YouTube is the thing top of mind. But from my personal experience working in the sports content world, and especially on the bigger arenas with the international organizations, the website or the digital content that comes through the website and articles and so on, and the clicks, it's one of the backbones of their content creation and a content strategy. So don't forget, if you don't feel like you're comfortable shooting video or photo, or you more feel like writing, there is a spot there also. So you can reach out to teams that you want to write game reports, or you want to write articles about news coming up, interviewing players, create these, insight, in-depth articles about players, or find the stories that you want to tell about this team. Then you can do that too. And it's going to be another way into the sports content world, because these things also matter a lot to get clicks to your website, because that's also where the sponsorships happen and so on. Another path you can also take is Instead of trying to get work with a league or a team, you can also build your own platform to showcase your work. So you can start your own Instagram account and start posting your photos, videos from the games there. And in that way, build your own portfolio live online and also get more reps. And also you have the ability to work with a lot of different teams or a lot of different clubs. When you have your own platform, you can also tag the teams, tag the players in your photos and videos, get them out there, get the exposure through those channels. And if the clubs or teams or players like what they see, they may DM you or ask you for more photos or ask you to come work for them. So building your own platform also in this stage of your career is a very good thing. I see a lot of young creators today having their own platform, posting from different games, and I think that's a very good way to go. And to do your own platform, you have to get into the games. For the lower divisions, there's usually no problems to get into the games on the sidelines and start shooting. But if you want to get into the big leagues or the big games, you're probably going to have to apply for accreditations to get a badge and a bib so you can be on the sidelines and shoot. And that's also one thing. You just have to apply for the accreditations to a lot of different games. Maybe you'll get it some games, maybe you don't. And then you start building from there. Take the photos, videos of those games, build your own platform, and just start creating. Creating is the most important thing because you just have to start. You just have to create, and it's gonna feel like in the beginning there's nothing happening, that you don't see any progress, you don't see any movement. Not so many people maybe see your photos or videos, but it's going to get there, I know it. Because you just have to keep it up, keep going, and it's gonna be the game changer. If you don't give up, you will get where you want to be. So to summarize, first, pick your lane or pick your path. Do you want to focus on one specific thing or do you want to do a lot of things content-wise? 2, do you want to work with teams or clubs directly or do you want to build your own platform or maybe do a combination of both? 3, start contacting clubs, start contacting teams or organizations in your local area to get inside the games and on the sidelines to start shooting and create your repetitions, create your portfolio, and get the experience you need to improve and to get to the next level. 4, remember there are different paths to this. Doesn't have to be video or audio. You can also do writing or digital content in a lot of different ways. 5, don't forget the analytics side, the data side. Know what content works or learn what content works and what the algorithm likes and what actually gives the most engaging content, because that is what is going to catapult you to the next level, that you can really showcase that this work you are doing is actually reaching people and engaging with people, because that is what all the teams and clubs want, to create engaging content. And if you can showcase that you do it, then that's the perfect thing. And the final thing, remember it's a marathon. 1% better each day, 1% better each week, and you are going to go where you want to go. So I hope this breakdown gave you some insight into starting your career in sports content. And if you feel like this episode helped, please share it with the fellow creators and share it online if you feel like this gave you value. And if you have any other topics that you want me to break down on the Gameplan Breakdown, just DM me or send me an email at sportscontentpod@gmail.com, and I will plan for the future coming Gameplan Breakdowns. Until next time, take care. See you.